Hi everybody, welcome to our Devil's Night live stream and live spirit box session. My name is Hillary and this is Jessica.
Hi.
We are Mystic Mitten Paranormal Group. So today we are going to spend some time answering any questions if anyone has them. We'd also love to hear any stories or tell you what we think about certain things. So if you want to know our opinion about something specific, maybe a video or what we think about aliens or something like that, let us know in the comments and we'll chit chat back and forth. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of play a game. We've got some trivia questions here, some different conversation starters. So we're just going to kind of go through and do that. And when anybody wants to chime in on the comments, go ahead.
And hi, Sherry. Miss you. Alrighty. You want to
Great.
start?
So, all right. So I'm going to pick a card. I'll kind of like demonstrate. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Depending on what it is. So you pick a card and hand it to me. Okay. Perfect. These are from the game Morbid Curiosity, too, if anybody recognizes this moth. This was a Kickstarter campaign that I contributed to, and this is the coolest game ever. So, okay, so it's a trivia question. So, Jessica, in Victorian England, women in mourning wore a veil in public to A, prevent spirits of the dead from attaching to those who saw her face, B, prevent the display of emotion, C, protect the wife's honor, or D, prevent possible disease from spreading.
Ooh. I'm going to guess C.
It's actually A.
Oh.
So, to prevent spirits of the dead from attaching to those who saw her face. Believe it or not, you would think that that would be like a... There would be some kind of more logical explanation and less supernatural explanation, but it was fun. That's why I picked this one. All right, so you go ahead and... Well, I'll pick a card and I'll hand it to you. Yeah, sorry, I was breaking my own rules there. Okay.
Alrighty. You've died. Now what? What do you believe awaits us after death?
Okay. That's funny that I get this one, of course.
Naturally,
I was hoping you would get that one. That's funny. So, you know, this is a very complicated thing, and I could wax poetic about this topic for a half an hour straight. But I think it's largely dependent on the individual person. I think it kind of ends up being a projection of what you assume it's going to be or what you'd like it to be. I think it's difficult, you know, for anyone to say for sure, but I believe at least that we are kind of a major creator of what that ends up looking like. So if you want to be in Disney World, like all the time, you can go be in Disney World. If you want to be, you know, if there's a specific place or if it looks like, I always kind of equate it to like Spyro the Dragon. Remember that video game? Kind of looks a lot like that. Like, you know, so any way you'd like it to be. So that's what I think. What about you?
Well, I think that we have to go somewhere because we all have our spiritual energy and we have our physical like being, our matter that we are physically made out of. But when we die, that matter that we're made out of obviously is...
It has to go somewhere, right?
But our spirit and our energy that's from within us has to go somewhere. So I believe that, you know, spirits after you pass, you can kind of come in and out as you will. I know when I have the loved one that I was incredibly close to pass away, she stuck around for a while. And then after she saw that I was okay, then she decided to move on to wherever that may be. So I definitely think that you can kind of come and go as you choose and show up when your loved ones really need your support.
I definitely agree with that. I think, too, we encounter the conversation about being stuck or not being stuck, too. And I think that largely spirits have a choice in that, whether or not to hang around, whether that's more of a conscious choice or not, where it's like, okay, I got to make sure that this person's okay, so I'm going to stick around for a period of time. I'm not crossing yet. Yeah. But I agree totally. It's like coming in and out of a mesh, almost. You can kind of step back and forth, especially like today. So today, between, the next couple of days, the veil, as we call it, is very thin. So particularly in times like this, they're able to kind of come in and out and visit and interact. And I think everybody can kind of agree the energy in general feels different this time of year.
Absolutely. All right, so my turn to draw my card. Well, I'm going to pick a white one because the white one seemed fun.
Okay, perfect. Let's see what we got. Okay. So name one person you'd like to hang out with in the afterlife.
Ooh, like one person, well, personally, I'd like to see my grandmother again, but I think if there was, any, one person to hang out with, probably Walt Disney.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Walt Disney, I'm not gonna lie. What about you?
That's such a hard one. I know, I'm, sitting here thinking, oh, God, I gotta can something up before she asks me. There's a couple people, some, personal friends I'd like to see again, and I can't really think of any celebrities, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd see anybody. Some of it, too, I feel like, it's, so mundane in a certain way, too, because it's, we're involved with this stuff, too. It's I know it's there, whatever. So, it's a tough one. All right, let me pick one. All right, here you go.
Okay. In the Victorian era, all the mirrors in the house were covered after somebody died. Why? A, to prevent ghosts coming through. B, to avoid focusing on vanity. C, so the spirit could cross over and not be trapped by its reflection. D, to honor the dead by not flaunting life.
I'm going to say C, because there's the whole idea of them getting trapped in mirrors and that.
You're right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah. So the more you know, in the Victorian era, the mirrors were covered after somebody died to prevent the spirit from being trapped within the mirror.
So would the mirror be haunted then?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So many questions.
I know. Funny story from when I was a child that just kind of rolls into this. So I was at a sleepover at my friend's house in maybe 5th grade, and we were playing Bloody Mary. And I was freaked out. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not going in the bathroom. I'll stand outside of the bathroom. And it was in her basement. It was dark, creepy basement. And all of the girls were piled in there, and they tried it, and nothing happened. And they're like, oh, we were supposed to have something red and a candle, and you have to do all of these extra steps rather than just go in there and say Bloody Mary, whatever. Anyway, so I swear to God, I see this hand come out of the mirror, and all the girls come running out of the bathroom. I cried so bad. I was like, Mom, Dad, can you come get me? I had to cover my mirrors in my bedroom for probably solid 2 years after the fact.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
it was horrifying.
Mom, come pick me up. I need to go home now.
The sleepover is too intense.
Oh my gosh.
And now here we are.
It's so funny. Isn't
many years later, I'm like, yeah, bring it on.
It's funny how that all evolves.
Oh yeah.
Life is funny like that. Oh gosh. All right, is it my turn? I forgot.
No, my turn.
Your turn. Okay. Okay, what is the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery?
Ooh.
This is interesting. So A, there is no difference. B, a cemetery is over 100 years old. C, a graveyard adjoins a church. D, graveyards have less than 100 graves. That's a lot to remember.
What were my options again?
So there's no difference. 100 years old, graveyard adjoins a church. Less than 100 graves.
I'm going to say adjoins the church.
You are correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good job.
Awesome.
That was a tough one. I wasn't sure.
All right. Graveyards. They're adjoined to a church, and cemeteries are kind of freestanding.
All these fun facts you're getting.
Fun facts. All right.
Hi, Amanda.
Oh, hi, Amanda.
Is Amanda your friend?
Yes. She got it worked out.
Sweet.
Does anyone have any questions for us?
Aw.
No? Okay.
Well, if you think of anything while we're going, just
to join.
Let it roll in.
Mike, will you text her aunt? She's like, hello.
All right. In the meantime.
Hi, Annie.
Oh, there's Jen.
Hey,
Hello.
Jen, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. How have you been? I hope that you've been good. I miss you.
Thanks for coming to watch, guys. It's so cool.
Annie says, hi, Mike.
So what we're doing right now, we're going through, and we've got these cards laid out in front of us, and we're going through some questions, trivia questions relating to like Victorian mourning practices, spirits, spooky stuff. So that's what we're doing right now. And then in a little bit here, we'll jump into our live spirit box section. It's like an echo chamber. So yeah, let's just pick a couple more cards and then we'll see if anybody has any questions in the meantime. Feel
or
free
if
to
you
comment.
have any stories that you would like to share with us, get our opinion on or anything like that, you're welcome to do so as well. Feel free to do that just in the comments. And then we'll get back to you as soon as we notice that comment pop up.
We'll try and read them coherently.
We'll try.
We'll try.
All right. Whose turn is it? I just went.
I'll ask this for you. Did I just ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, well, I already saw this one, so here, to pick this one.
Alrighty. In Victorian England, a widow moved back... In Victorian England, a widow moved from black clothing to this half-mourning color as a slow return to gay colors. The options are A, purple, B, gray, C, navy, or D, green.
Purple.
Purple.
That's purple. It's purple. I know
Yeah, 100%
that.
it's purple.
That's one I
had
know
no
for sure.
idea. That's pretty cool.
Well, it's interesting, too, because, like, a lot of, like, the stuff that, like, you and I have been collecting lately, too, like, specifically paper items, too, there's, like, a black border. Yeah. And that's how you know that that's, like, some mourning stationery is the black border. And then it kind of goes into purple stuff. So there's all these rules about, like, the amount of time that coincides with when the person passed and what you're supposed to be wearing, and depending on your relationship with the person, too. So, but purple's a good color.
Wow. And that's interesting, too, because, like, purple's, like, your standard, like, royal color.
It's used in churches a lot, too, so it's just kind of, in general, like, a very high spirituality, symbolic color, for sure.
Awesome. All right, well, my turn to pick.
All right.
Do you want me to go for this?
Either, one? Yeah, that's fine. I know the answer. You can answer the question. Okay, so, is there a fragrance or scent that reminds you of someone who's died?
Lily of the Valley.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that your grandma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lily of the Valley.
Is it a perfume?
Yeah, she had a perfume. She never wore it. I just like smelling it because it smelled good. But she had Lily of the Valley flowers on the side of her house.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
So do you ever like smell it and you know she's around?
No.
No? Really?
No, never. Never. I'm like full-heartedly, like she was here, she stayed with me, and when she saw that I was okay, she's on to wherever adventure she's at right now. Haven't seen her or heard from her since. But that's okay.
You never know.
Never know.
Put those things out now.
Exactly.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen tonight with our spirit box session?
Right, totally.
Exactly. One thing that I'd be curious to see with our spirit box session too is if you guys hear anything in particular, or if something stands out to you, where it might have zero meaning for Hillary and I, but it might be a relation to somebody who you're connected to. So we'd definitely be curious to hear that if you notice that when that session begins here in just a few more moments.
Even after the fact, too. So if you're watching this later, there might be something that came through knowing that you'd be watching this later. So leave in the comments wherever you're watching this and let us know for sure. So, all right. Do you want to get started on this?
I think let's get started.
All right, let's do it. So... Oops, sorry, my bad. Okay, so we are going to get into the spirit box session now. Basically, what we are using here is a lot of guitar parts that come together into a very strange looking contraption that operates very similarly to our PSB7 spirit box that we used in our other videos, if you've watched it or them. And basically what we do is input a source, so an audio source. This one we're using here scans IP radio and lets certain fragments of audio leak through as it's scanning. There's also a bank of human speech patterns, so in English speech patterns, because we speak English, but you never know what a spirit can take and morph it into. So it just provides spirits an opportunity to manipulate the audio that we feed into here. So let's just do it. So, okay, let's get this dialed in. Let me turn this up. So do you want to ask questions, or what do you want to, how do you want to do this today, you think?
Well, every time that we use any of our spirit boxes, really, we kind of have to really tune it. How I feel, we kind of have to tune it, make sure everything's kind of working well for the atmosphere and the environment that we're in currently. So I'm going to be curious as well, because as you can see, we're kind of sitting here in front of my oddity collection, which is pretty stellar. So maybe something from this, and we also have a stack of old photographs with us right now. Maybe something from there is going to come in. So if it's not working and not much is coming through, then that's when we'll start to kind of dial it in and really tune it to make sure that it's accustomed for where we are right now. Do you have any questions in the meantime?
Okay, if somebody who's in this room, who's not tangible, can give me some kind of indication that I'm on the right track with tuning this. This can kind of be a boring process, like live. Yeah. But this is kind of like a peek into like what we're doing, how we do what we do.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Austin. We worked really hard on it. There's some cool stuff in there.
So we've frequently had issues. Well, we've never really tried to do anything like this at your house before.
No. We run into a lot of technical errors. Pretty often.
Let me see. Let's try some more.
There's a lot of whispers, but nothing strong enough.
That's a little better. Reset the stream. Okay, so this is just going into pure banks right now for a second here.
Okay. So right now we're trying to tune this version of a spirit box. while Hillary works on that, we can go through some pretty cool.
It might help to talk anyway.
Yeah, photos.
Just go through some stuff,
some
and
artifacts.
I'll just mess with this.
So, one of my personal favorites is not vintage or anything. But this is Robert the doll. Robert, in my personal opinion, is more intense than Annabelle the doll. Robert is absolutely adorable little doll. You can see him in Key West, and that's where I got this postcard. So that was really cool to see. He gets blamed for a lot of things too. So if you see him and you take his picture and you don't ask for his permission, they think that Robert's going to curse you and bad things will happen. So a lot of people will write in and give him I'm sorry notes and apology letters with hopes that Robert will forget him. These are just some pictures I've collected over the times here. Here's a photograph from a funeral, like a burial. You see the ladies in mourning here, as well as like some flower funeral arrangements, which is kind of interesting to see. Then this was a gift. This was a gift from Hillary because Mike and I just got married. So here was one of our wedding presents, which is awesome. So that's pretty neat. This one's one of my personal favorites. It's two twins. Aren't they adorable? So we always pick up little odd things like that because in one of the first sessions that we ever did together, Stuart was a person who was photographed, and that was a really neat adventure because Hillary just picked up a photo album that was kind of like a hodgepodge of like just random pictures that were thrown into this photo album, and it was very clearly like somebody wants out, like get me out of here, I don't belong here. What was really weird was it came through at one point, who's the Nazi?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Incredibly creepy and weird to hear. But as Hillary's flipping through the photo album, one of the pictures kind of shot out a little bit. So ever since then, we've just kind of been drawn to collecting random photographs with hopes that something is attached to them at some point.
And they're just cool, too.
Yeah, they're just cool, too. This is one that I picked up from a local antique shop. This was after our Memphis Cemetery adventure. And that's when Mike heard somebody say yoo-hoo. And when we were reviewing the audio, I could just like very vaguely hear a part where it sounded like yoo-hoo. But then like shortly after we went to the antique shop.
Oh, that's so weird.
Isn't that weird? And it says yoo-hoo. I'm not sure if that is going to work or not. But right across the top here, it says yoo-hoo. So I felt like we had to just buy that one.
That's really cool.
Isn't that weird?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I really like this one. Oh my gosh. What's a guy too? Was it a man's voice you heard that day? No. That's funny. Raymond? Something. Okay, this is back up now. Let's see.
Wolf? 100% wolf. Yeah. I'm happy to help you right now. Happy to help you.
He's from South.
He's from the South.
Very special television program.
Very special
Was it a very special television program?
Hi, Stephanie.
Edie says that twins scare her. I agree. I like twins. I always pick twins.
Yeah.
Always. If there's, especially like little girl twins, I always buy that. Okay.
There's like a nice guitar riff again.
Sometimes there's a lot of like pollution too that happens with it, just because of how it But the stuff that's relevant is relevant. That's what's weird about it.
Well, in the interim, while the spirit box is still getting adjusted, some more photographs. Because who knows? Maybe if we talk about them, somebody's gonna pop up. Now,
It's probably kind of hard to hit with it.
Annie doesn't like twins, but these these are sisters. 3 little sisters. This is another cute one. This is another postcard from my personal opinion, the most haunted lighthouse in all of America, the St. Augustine Lighthouse. One day I will get there. One day. If you don't know anything about this, it's absolutely incredible. Like, you have to go watch the videos. Shadow figures running up and down the stairs, shooting from one flight of steps all the way up to like 3 floors next, and it's insane. It is absolutely insane. So I was pretty stoked when I found this at, once again, local antique shop. It's
That one's nice.
it's an addiction.
I'm going to make it really selective. So it's got to be over a certain pitch
Okay.
for it to come through.
I'm going to know God. Ready, no God? And because more power he has to run. Hanging on.
Is there anybody from any of these pictures right here who would like to say anything using this box? You're going to have to try very hard, but the veil should be thin enough. You should have no problem.
Bombarded with this. And this loud thing going over and over.
You don't know?
That was really clear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm so bad at hearing. Like my ears, I need my ears cleaned all the time. So I will tell you, maybe this will trigger. I was hoping this would trigger something, so we'll see. So I brought this picture, which I am. There's a little laugh in there.
Fuzzy.
Oh, fuzzy. Oh my gosh. I hate when it gets stuck on the light
Light of day.
So I get this picture in Florida. Do you remember that one time with the doll, the little frozen Charlotte doll?
Yes.
And we tried to float it. So I
Yes.
had bought this frozen Charlotte doll, which if you're not familiar, they're those little bisque, like naked babies.
Oh, I have one.
She's got some. Perfect. As the story unfolds,
Frozen
So,
Charlotte
yes.
doll. It's a really tiny
it's hard to
one.
see. So just like that, and I had been having some strange sounds and some strange interactions with some kind of spirit. This was way in the beginning of the year. Kind of like focused around bubbles, around like voices sounding like they're in a bathroom or somebody taking a bath, bubbles popping, water running, water draining, things like that. So just a real heavy water theme. And so it started before I got this picture, so I'm not sure that it's really connected unless there's some thing to it, or if it's like I was picked or something, like
Yeah.
they knew, because time I think in the spirit world isn't necessarily functioning the same way it is here. So anyway, so the thought I had is that like, oh, this is somebody, and it's a woman's voice. It's always a woman's voice too. And we're going to have a video about this too, so this is totally relevant. So on the back of this card, it has this woman's name, and it's kind of hard to make out, but I am 99% sure that it says this. So her name and then Aunt Bird would have been the person. Like they're writing these notes in their album or whatever. Drowned in the alley. Something, something, something. When a young married woman. So I've just always kind of like
weird.
It sounded like Susan.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is the picture I talked
Susan,
about.
are you watching with us right now?
It's
No.
split in half. And I just like her, and I just feel like this is one that's gonna produce something at some point. So I have yet to sit down and like by myself have like a dedicated
Right.
moment with this lady.
Right.
But I'm curious about it. So if you want to make any bubble noises or any water noises or anything like that, now would be a great time.
We haven't heard any knocking. Oh my
So now you gotta say it. All you gotta do is say it.
god. Literally, as I said, we haven't heard any knocking. There was knocking. I'm not sure if you caught that or not. But that's one thing that often repeats. It's a reoccurring
Hello,
trend.
Susan. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Oh my god, that was weird.
Susan, are you watching with us right now? I don't think she is.
It's okay. She'll probably watch later. See you, and I'm
See,
mean
exactly.
later.
Nashville?
Or yeah, I don't know. That was hi, Susan. That was weird. Oh, that was weird.
Okay, Susan, if you end up watching this, you have to let me know. Esther B? It's like
I just want to know what I'm listening for. What is it? Oaf? Oaf?
Ophi? That's not a name.
That's what it looks like, though.
That's
I know.
what it looks like.
Immigration. That's our thing. It's hard to tell too. Like if there's like pollution from things that are like when people have like, oh, a celebrity died, or they're coming through my spirit box. It's like that's cycling on the news. They're saying that over and over and over.
Exactly.
So I mean, immigration is an issue right now, obviously. So it makes sense that would pop through. But my thought with this is that this woman's like immigrated, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
literally
I don't
it
know.
says she drowned in the alley.
We would love to talk to you
By the pier.
by the pier.
That's pier. By pier. She drowned in the she drowned in the alley by pier. After a
Need some
journey
water noises.
after a young married woman.
How horrible.
Drowned in a alleyway. Pier after a young married woman.
So, is there anybody else? Shout outs. Now's your chance. Give your shout outs to the people that are going to watch this video.
We have people that are currently watching this video right now too. Alright.
Your people know that you're watching, so.
Is there anyone here with us that wants to say something to one of our viewers?
An example.
Being
Give 'em an example.
Yeah, or something.
Give them an example.
Oh yeah.
This is like the parlor tricks moment. Do parlor tricks for us.
This one is this. Count 'em.
They get together. This one. Okay, we'll go back and listen to that. It's like this one. They get together.
They get together.
We like jokes. It's like joking at the same time. It's like scary as hell sometimes, and it's lots of jokes. So let's just do this. Let's just spend like 1 minute straight. Let them make the messages. 1 minute straight. I swear that's what you said. Leave it for a minute. Here's your chance. So listen for your message. Candace?
This amazing. These are now protected. They have.
These are now protected. They have.
And this is where everyone drops off.
Yeah.
Like, see ya.
We have 8.
So I guess I want to hear some numbers. I want to hear numbers. So is there? If there's anybody in this room, and if you're not in this room but you're using this box, so if you're holding the other end of the phone, so to speak, how many of you are there?
You're gonna have to try harder than that.
7? 5? How many people are watching? 8? Okay.
And reporters.
How about some names? What about names?
Do you know my name? I heard it's Jessica at the Grand Prix. Definitely not at the Grand Prix.
Yours has come out of here before.
Yes. Sound like Hillary.
What do you think of the fact that we're doing this live stream right now?
Discovered. What's that?
Who's got the phone today? Who's in charge? Did the bubble lady come with me? Can we hear some sound effects? I like sound effects. Sirens. Let's get some sirens going. Send me some kind of wacky...
That sound like metal
wacky
pans.
sound. Like a boing or something. I like when that one happens.
So anyone that's just joining us, we are in the middle of a spirit box session. This is made with all guitar amp parts, and it's basically circling through a programmed radio. that has different words in it. It's also flipping through channels. It's looking for anything recognizable that sounds like English language. Fortunately, it's not really giving us a whole lot right now.
Oftentimes, you think it's not giving you anything, and you go back and you listen to it, and there's stuff
it's
that
going
you
to blow
missed.
our minds.
Totally.
It's going to blow our mind. One thing that's interesting, too, this is our first live stream for anyone that doesn't know, is if this microphone catches any EVPs.
True.
Which, I don't see why it couldn't happen.
The number also going up.
The numbers start going up.
Well, it went to 11, so it did. We went from 8 to 11, and I was asking for numbers.
Does anyone have any questions for us?
Unregistered, unlicensed,
Registered without a license?
and I live here.
I do have to renew my real estate license tomorrow.
Ooh!
So, one of the reasons why these type of ITC research devices are so controversial is because you have to bank a lot of the faith you have in evidence on the audio sources that are used. So, if you're not using a truly randomized audio source, it's difficult to view the evidence in a scientific manner, if that makes any sense.
It's reality.
It's reality.
Yeah.
So,
It sounds like I'm torn between reality.
and that's kind of relevant in that it creates a lot of opportunity for people to interject certain narratives, obviously, plant responses, things like that, names. So it's very controversial. I think because
A possible catch. Hi, Travis. Hi, Aunt Nancy. Hi, Steve. Thank you for all of your support that you've given us. We're probably a little late to the comments here. Ooh, here's a question. Hi, Jackie. Have we ever seen a spirit?
Have we seen one together? I don't think so yet.
I don't think we've seen one together
Not at the same
yet.
time. Or same day.
Do you want to tell your story and then I'll tell mine? Or do you want me to go
But
first?
the way you fly, very few can tell it.
Can you tell it?
Perfect. So, we actually just...
We're going to learn more about it.
See, it's working now. Hello.
I love the attitude
I know.
all the time.
Yeah.
The attitude is hilarious.
So we actually just did an investigation a couple weeks ago at a location where I saw a full body apparition. This was probably 8 years ago, maybe. I was driving home. I was actually being driven home from a boyfriend at the time. And it was around 2 o'clock in the morning. Something about appearing so...
Something terminated.
I don't know. I was driving home and there was a person walking on the side of the street and he was carrying a lantern and he had round little glasses. He's wearing a little tiny, like a flat cap and like old-timey clothing and like spats with his boots. And our headlights reflected off of his glasses. And he kind of looked at us and we looked at him and we kept driving. And I turned to him at the time, I'm like, did you just see? And we completed it, the whole thing that we saw. I'm like, you gotta turn around, you gotta go back. So we turn around and there's nobody. Mind you, this is like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was like almost Civil War era. This guy was complete, full garb. And like our headlights reflected off of his glasses. And he kind of like turned and looked at us. And then he was gone. Like, we turned around so fast, and there was nobody. So, we just recently went and checked out that location.
For the night.
We went and checked out that location for the first time. We're still in the process of reviewing that to see if we caught anything. I'm not sure. It seems like it was intelligent in the fact that it, like, kind of, like, looked and acknowledged us. So, I don't think it's just a residual thing that's happening there. repeating. But it was absolutely wild. But when I saw that,
Continue to hold each of those programs.
Continue to hold those
I'm gonna
programs
speed it up
hostage.
a little bit. Yeah, it's a little too much.
But when I saw this, your mind instantly, you think it's real. And then you realize that there's no possible way that could have been real. So I full-heartedly believe that I saw a full-body apparition. And it was wild. I wasn't scared when I saw it. Like, you're just like, well, that's weird. And then, like, you realize that makes no sense. Why would somebody be dressed like that? Carrying a lantern, walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning in a Metro Detroit suburb. Like, it doesn't make sense. So that was really interesting. That was a great question.
Which, if you follow us on Instagram, that's where that orb picture came from.
Yes.
Is that investigation.
Yes. Hi, Aunt Nancy. Aunt Nan said to say, it's Devil's Night, the veil is thin. Come on now.
Watch out!
Watch out, that's a salt truck.
And your enemy will win the day. A better way to
Ooh. Alright. Spirits in the paranormal can be considered spooky. What is something that spooks you?
Spirits. And like for real? Like actually
Yeah.
scares me? Or
Yeah, what
me
actually
personally?
scares you?
Heights.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel too. Sketchy heights. Aliens, I'm good. Like, I'll watch a UFO all day, but then it starts moving towards me. Out. Bigfoot, firm believer, totally out there, full supporter. I never want to meet him.
I actually don't like the dark at all. Just random fun
Yeah.
fact. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Not
Understood.
'cause of- yeah, that's funny. Not because of this. It's just I don't know. It's a disorienting thing. So yeah, I will be a baby about just being in the dark. Totally.
Stephanie, spooky. Hey, Jocelyn. Have you ever seen a spirit? You see all sorts of everything.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. Well, I see spirits all the time.
Yeah.
But not necessarily in the same sense that you described there. That happens more rarely. Like actual, like full-fledged flashes of people. And the most recent time that happened was at the Memphis Cemetery.
Yeah.
And there are times where it's like catching somebody out of the corner of your eye for a second, but that was different. That was really strange. Which there's a whole video on that.
Yes.
We talk about it over and over and over.
Oh,
but
yes.
Brian,
Alrighty. Have you ever felt the presence of a spirit?
have you?
I don't know if I've necessarily felt. I've seen a lot of weird stuff in my whole life. I've seen a lot of weird stuff. I've seen like auras. I don't know if I've ever necessarily like felt the presence of a spirit though, or like we'll tell a story about how this one time like he just got like he felt really comfortable after a loved one passed away, and like he just felt comforted after the loved one passed away. So I don't think I've ever personally necessarily have felt a spirit. I've been to places that are creepy.
Do you use Ouija boards or tarot cards, and do you believe they are dangerous?
Ooh.
So I actually read tarot cards professionally.
She's very
Not
good
a
at
plug.
it.
Totally, this is not a commercial.
Very good at it.
So I'm kind of biased in that regard. No, I do not think that tarot cards are dangerous. I know on like Ghost Hunters and some of these other shows, people imply that the use of tarot cards can open portals and attract spirits. If you're going into reading tarot cards intending to attract spirits, yeah, you can do that, but it's not because of the tarot cards, it's because you're intending to attract spirits. Ouija boards are something I don't really mess with much personally. I know Jessica's, that's like her no-go zone. That's the deal breaker for her.
Zone.
Yeah, so she doesn't want to touch that with the 10-foot pole. I have a few times. I don't think, I don't know that it's as dangerous perhaps as people try and play it up to be, but I do think if you go into a situation intending to attract and communicate with something, that's really what invites it. So whether you do that with, I guess, like playing cards or dice or a Ouija board, I mean, you're kind of dabbling in the whole... in the realm.
I think like you have to go into things, you have to have good intentions when you go into it. And I think you need to kind of have somewhat of idea of what you're doing too. So it's I don't know. Ouija boards make me nervous. I've never used one. I never will. I feel like there are other safer ways of communication. That
went on for a very long time.
That was super weird.
That's the title.
If we're unsuccessful. Hold your fill.
Are they like trying to play us off right now? Like, is this the dun 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 dun? This has gone on too long. Like, we're done. That's funny. Your Aunt Nancy's asking a question.
Right.
I have an answer for that question.
Are there spirits in the room with you that are coming through the box?
So, the large answer to this question, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We don't really know.
Sometimes, yes, they're totally in the room.
Yeah.
In scenarios where like this, I don't know. I feel like it's like somebody, like, we're picking up one end of like a payphone phone, or like I guess you just call it a payphone.
Yeah.
Pick up one end of a payphone. That's horrible. And like waiting to see if anybody else walks by and picks it up is kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
I think they could come in.
Yeah,
and out.
I feel like sometimes like we'll have like a really close relation to what's going on, where we are. Connections to that, so I think that I think I'd have to agree. Sometimes it is related to things here, and sometimes we're just throwing it out there, throwing that line out there, and hoping that somebody picks up. Hey Chris, thanks for joining. So right now, for anybody that's just joining us, we are answering questions that you have about the paranormal or about our experiences. If you have any stories that you would like to share with us, feel free to do so in the comments if you want our opinions on them. We are also open to doing investigations. So if you have a location that you would like us to come in and investigate, we have plenty of equipment. We have night vision cameras, K2 meter. We have the Spirit Box SB7, which is very similar to this, except it's kind of smaller. But we're not using that one because it has a lot of background noise, and it's constant background noise, which works well for our own investigations, but for a Facebook Live, I'm sure you guys would get sick of it real fast just because it would be a whole bunch of gibberish.
Nothing about Santa Claus yet, Jocelyn. Not yet.
Nothing about Santa. Santa is not allowed until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they want to enjoy Halloween first, I think. Let's just...
After Thanksgiving.
Before we let incessant commercialism take over.
All right, Stephanie says, favorite place that we've been. I'm going to have to say Ellis Island. Stephanie was actually there with me. Being at a place that was so groundbreaking in a sense for America, but there was so much turmoil and sadness but at the same time, like hope and joy. There were so many emotions tied to that island and that location, and everyone, like people were coming in, they were probably scared or sick or excited and happy to be in America. So it was really awesome place to be, and to do an investigation there would be absolutely incredible. But that's far out goals.
To the body might be.
Jocelyn said her question about Santa was weird, but she'll tell us why later.
Let's give a moment for Jocelyn here. Let's just...
Hey, Justin.
Let's let it... We'll be quiet again for a minute. I'm just
Get the tea.com.
Get the tea? Get the tea.com. I hate when commercials. It's two commercials. Alright, I'm...
Or visit insight.org.
So bizarre, and there were like birds chirping.
That was really weird.
What?
That was weird. Sometimes I think those like that even like there's some that just bleeds through and whatever, but like when it's like when it's funny, that paints a picture in your brain. Mm-hmm. So that's whatever that means. Yeah. Is the initiation of that message, you know?
Hey,
Hi,
Sandy.
Justin.
Hey, Jessica.
5 o'clock beverage. Do what I do and use more.
2030.
I'm gonna tighten it up again.
Oh, we have 2 Jessicas watching. Hey, guys. So, for those that just recently joined, to give a little bit of a background as to what we have going on right now, we are doing a live spirit box session.
Coming to you live.
Coming to you live. How's it going? I've noticed every time I talk, it starts
That always
to talk
happens.
with me.
That always happens.
It's in my mind something about seeing. I don't know. Anyway, so if you have any questions about our own personal experiences, or you'd like to give information to us about your own experiences and get our takes on it or anything like that, feel free to do so in the comments. Ooh. All right, another question from Aunt Nancy.
It's gotten a lot easier.
Have you ever done a seance and had a spirit come through the medium?
In a physical sense, no. What do you? How would you answer that? What would you say?
So, I don't know if I've necessarily ever done, like, per se, a seance. Normally we just throw on, we like to call it, like, our equipment or our toys. And we just set that stuff up, and usually something just happens.
I've never had really anybody significant, like, or not significant, but like strongly come through for you in general at all either. I have a very hard time reading you. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't know why.
All right. Oh, hey, Ellison and Andrew. All right. Another question from Aunt Nancy. What is your ideal Michigan location you'd like to investigate? I know my answer, but you give yours first.
I would like to do the Whitney.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah. Just because, I don't know, I just like the aesthetic of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Traverse City Insane Asylum, which is no longer an insane asylum. In fact, they've renovated the buildings. They've turned it into little gift shops. There's like apartments now. But that place is awesome. I had the chance of checking it out as they were in the process of renovating it, and some of those buildings are just incredible. So getting into there would be really cool. Hi V, how are you? Oh, noise from the chinchilla.
Wants to be involved. Hello.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what I'm thinking we do here, let's just kind of open up the energy. Open up the energy in this room to kind of let the closing statements, closing goodbyes, things like that come through. Kind of see if there's anything anybody else has to say before we kind of wind this down.
Oh, we got another question from Steve, too.
3 days rest. You would pray that since someone, anyone, bring you a
This is really
Someone, anyone prayed to
Because
bring
the Middle
you?
East had lasted because
Anything anybody wants to say before we shut it off for today? Anybody who's going to be watching later? Anybody who's watching now?
Do you need help healing with every? I'm James. Stop.
We got a lot of religious commercials
We
tonight.
did. Do you need help healing?
getting an inheritance from
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Give me that money.
All right.
from riding horses on our own private from christening yachts,
Christened yachts and butlers and riding horses. We've ventured into a very rich realm in the paranormal world.
All right. Well, I'm going to shut it off.
Okay.
Watch your mouth. It comes to financial stability.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
There's our playoff. Always. Always.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
There's-
gosh.
It's so funny. There is so much like gibberish and commercials and stuff that you know is nothing, and then every once in a while you get those
Really weird
moments.
things. Those
Yeah.
weird moments. We have a couple more questions
Yeah, let's
here.
let's go through those.
So we'll raffle through those questions here as we wrap things up. What do we think of Ed and Lorraine Warren and their cases? Alrighty. Do you want to put an input on that? Because I have a slightly different view.
Do you know what my view is?
No, I don't. Well, I have a different view than the general public would have.
What would the general public have?
I think
know
a lot of people are kind of fascinated by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed is now passed. Their nephew is actually John Zaffis of Haunted Collector. So that's interesting, and that's how he kind of got into the business. So a little fun fact about them. But yeah, you raffle off about Ed and Lorraine first, and then I'll come in afterwards.
It's difficult. I mean, everybody has, their personal biases and if they... I think regardless, we all have to go into this, like, you can't denounce anybody. You can't say, oh, you're a scammer, oh, you're fake, oh, you're whatever, regardless, because we're all doing the same stuff. At the end of the day, we're all doing the same stuff. How we frame it, how we describe it, what lens we view it through, whether that's like a religious lens or not, we're all kind of... So I have respect just in general. I do think some of the cases they worked on were particularly sensationalized. I think there is always kind of an overlap with paranormal and mental illness.
Yeah.
There's like a saying that the psychotic swims in the waters that the mystic delights in. And so there's always kind of a crossover. But I think they had a lot of financial gain, to that. But I don't know. I say jury's out on everything.
One thing that I will say is I go to Michigan Paracon, and that is up in Sault Ste. Marie, which is pretty cool. And when I went there, Andrea Perrin, who is the daughter from the real life Conjuring story, was there, and I've met her dozens of times now at this point. She's a really wonderful lady, but they'll tell the stories of how it really happened in comparison to how, the movies in Hollywood, and what's the difference between, like the real Annabelle doll and then like the movie of it. If you don't mind, can you pull her out from the cabinet for me, please?
Good idea.
Yeah, we're gonna feature a star.
Well, and to that point too, some of this stuff is really boring. It's like experimenting with stuff, and it takes a long time.
And it takes a long time, and there'll be times when nothing happens. So the Annabelle movie that everybody is familiar with, this is what the real doll actually looks like. Uh-oh.
Did we lose?
Facebook might have cut us off. You're not logged in. Please log in to continue. We may have died. Hopefully Annabelle made it right.
She killed it.
She killed it. She looked at it and it was like...
She came and it was over. Oh, Austin's making fun of us.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what shit is he talking?
Oh, Austin's making fun of us.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what shit is he talking? Did that go Facebook Live? We're still live.
Annabelle killed our stream.
This is what the real Annabelle doll actually looks like. But it kind of seemed like Ed and Lorraine, at least from the stories that I've been told. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I don't know for sure. But it kind of seemed like they would hear these stories and they would just go so full force into it that, like, sometimes they weren't necessarily helping the matter. They were kind of hurting it. They were kind of, like, antagonizing it and making it grow stronger and get bigger and more intense. And so it's kind of a fine line. And it's definitely something, like, we obviously, like, we go into every case, like, respectful, and I'm sure that they did as well, but I think, like, they wanted to get these experiences for themselves. So if that meant kind of pushing that border just a little bit and kind of pushing it as far as they could go, I don't know. There's Ed and Lorraine.
That's a tough one.
We're not sure if the video cut out for you guys or not. Annabelle looked at it and our computer screen got all glitchy. And it looked like we lost our live connection for a minute. But it might be the case that we're still rocking and rolling. So, yes, everybody sees us. We're still alive. We're still streaming. We're still there. Jocelyn said that deep voice guy was trying to say something but wasn't making it out.
We'll go through and rewatch this, and anything that's, like, notable or interesting, we'll make, like, a little montage of in post, too, if anything we catch.
Yeah.
Or if we catch anything. Or if you hear anything, too, let us know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we will take one or two more questions, and we'll probably wrap it up. We were trying to be about an hour long, and we're getting to that point there. So, if anybody has any questions, or you'd like to share your story with us and have our opinion on it, feel free to have at it in the little comments right now. Hi, Chris and Dylan and Matt. Hi.
Oh, I really liked that.
Yeah. So we're just chilling with Annabelle. What the real Annabelle actually looks like.
Well, while we're waiting for those last questions to roll in, if you like, I guess we'll just kind of say our closing remarks. Thank you so much for watching us.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody for supporting us as we go on this new journey. We're pretty new to this. It hasn't even been a year yet. And we're already getting out there and pretty developed. And like I said, we have a whole bunch of equipment. And if you or your family or a friend, if somebody has like a location that they think things are going on, like, and they want an investigation, feel free to hit us up. There's no charge for that. So please just let us know, and we're more than willing to come in because we want to help and we want to be able to experience it ourselves and know that you're not crazy.
Totally.
The stuff happens.
Totally.
It happens.
And
that's like,
crazy,
I think that's one thing that's like really awesome about this is back when all of this whole like paranormal thing, like when that first show went on Sci-Fi Channel, I didn't tell anybody I watched that. I was 13. I was embarrassed. It wasn't cool. You know what I mean? And now, like, here we are, and we're in a day and age now where we can put this out on Facebook and say, hey, yeah, this is awesome. This is real. We believe it. We've experienced things. Why should we be afraid to put that out into the universe and to put that out, you know, to our friends or family or whatever? Like,
it's nerve-wracking. I'm still struggling with it, to be
I
honest.
think it's really cool, and I have absolutely like no issues with it, and I'm comfortable with it now. So it's kind of neat to see that whole 360. We were joking earlier about aliens.
Yeah.
When we were like prepping for this whole thing about like, okay, so like, do we believe in aliens?
If nobody shows up and nobody talks to us or asks us any questions, we'll just talk to each other
Yeah, we'll
about
just talk to each
aliens.
other about aliens.
Which we could still do.
Which we can easily still
Maybe not
do.
right now, but yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, I think we'll sign off for now. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes. And mysticmitten.org is our website. If you haven't checked it out already, there's more information. You can contact us. get in touch about us coming to investigate your house or business, anything like that. So feel free to reach out anytime, and we will see you next time.
Thank you all so much for everything and for helping us make this happen.
Thank you.
So for all of the support, we're also on Instagram, YouTube, and as Hillary mentioned, our website. So definitely check out our channel, see what we have going on. Now that fall's kind of starting to simmer down, we're definitely going to be picking up pace a bit. So definitely watch our different areas that we have going on here for some crazy and awesome developments. They'll be coming in the soon future. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Oh, hold on, wait. Is this one last question?
Oh.
Nope. Everybody's saying bye. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Happy Halloween. And closing credits.